What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Vault Hunters. In this week's episode, we're going to be jumping into the Gaia fight, hopefully not dying in said Gaia fight, and getting up to some vault shenanigans as well as some farming. But we're going to start our episode up here in the Magical Wizard's Tower in my bedroom. And in last week's episode, somebody left me a comment saying that I should build a nice flowery gardening area up here, and I agree. I think it looks rather cool. If you guys have any cool ideas, make sure you comment them down below, and I will get to building. But without further ado, let's hop into the episode. Roll the intro.
Is anyone there? Oh, hi.
And getting started in this week's episode, we're going to get right into crafting some of the nicks and knacks that you need for Botania. So the first thing we're going to be crafting here is called the Alchemy Catalyst, and that is actually a block in which you can put under a mana pool, and then it will transmogrify items, if you will, changing them from one item to another. So we're going to throw this bad boy underneath this mana pool here, and I will kind of demonstrate exactly what it is you can do with this bad boy. Get a little pink light in here so everybody can see. And so as you can see there in the middle of the screen, it actually shows you what it'll turn it into. And there's a list of the items in the Lexica Botania book as well. And you can use this thing to craft up gunpowder from flint, a whole bunch of other stuff. The applications of that block are pretty innumerous, to be honest. I think there's like 30 pages in the book for both that one and the Conjuration Catalyst, which is what I'm working on crafting up now. So we are getting started here and making an Alchemy Catalyst, a second one, because the Conjuration Catalyst actually takes a Alchemy Catalyst in the recipe and some of these Elementium ingots here that you can do some mana trading for to grab those up. And what the Conjuration Catalyst does, instead of transmogrifying items between one type of item to the next, it will actually duplicate items for you using the mana from the pool above it. So if you throw one down right underneath a mana pool like so, and then you throw in a piece of coal, for instance, it will turn it into two pieces of coal, and so on and so forth. You can use it to duplicate quite a few different blocks within the game. There's also, I think, 20 or so pages of blocks you can duplicate with this thing in the Lexica Botania as well, so make sure if you have any questions you reference that to figure out all the different blocks that you can use and all the different things you can do with it, because it is a very handy thing to have. We move right along from that over to prepping for the Gaia fight here. So the Gaia fight is really cool. It's one of, if I'm not mistaken, the only overworld boss fights that you can have in Vault Hunters. So here we're kind of scoping out where we wanted to do it. We actually ended up settling on a location kind of up towards our original house up in the plains up here. But I don't think you need the beacon base, but I put it there just because, I don't know, it feels wrong to put a beacon down without a base. But you put the beacon down, and then you put up these pylons right around it like this, and it will summon up the old Gaia. And the reason that we were actually pursuing him is because to get to the higher end mana spreaders and stuff, you need one of the items he drops, which is a Gaia Spirit. And so you're probably going to end up having to farm this guy a few times. The fight's actually pretty rough if you don't take him seriously. This first time around, we did not take him seriously, and it was deadly. It definitely cost us our life, for sure. He does not play around between the mobs he summons, the withering. It's a really fun fight, though. I highly recommend checking it out. He also drops some like shader grab bags and some other things I'll show here in a minute that are pretty cool. But the Gaia Spirits he drops are actually pretty useful, so you use them to craft up more advanced trinkets, use them to craft up the Gaia Spreader, which is actually a better version of the regular mana spreader that is pretty solid in its application. It will really keep up with your mana needs for sure. And there you saw I popped my totem. This first fight did not go well. I definitely bit it pretty hard there. For those of you wondering why it popped up with my face on the screen instead of the regular vanilla totem, because that's what that was there. That wasn't a vault totem. There is a texture pack / resource pack / data pack. I'm not really sure which of the three it is, but with minimal effort you can actually put your skin into there and get it skinned over to the totem, and I think that's kind of fun with a vanilla totem. When you're walking around, having a little version of you or one of your buddies in your hand is always an interesting time. As you can see there, Chad almost bit it to the boss as well. He popped his totem, and I think he lasts just long enough for me to get back and claim my stuff, and then he too gets fallen by the almighty Gaia. So I actually gave up on not using vault skills about halfway through this fight and just popped execute right there when I came back and axed him, because that fight was brutally difficult and I didn't want us to get caught in a death loop, because I figured that's what was about to happen. And this is me kind of showing what those like shader grab bags are. So you get them from the Gaia fight as well as like the Ender Dragon fight, and you can roll them and they give you a random banner pattern you can use on some other stuff. So this is an application of the Gaia Spirit there. These Globetrotter sashes, as you can see, they make you go really quick when you run around, and they also give you the step up ability for free. So if I wanted to, I could drink a Flask of Regret and get rid of that step up. So that is really nice. It'll give you 5 free skill points back and help out tremendously in vault runs. Between that and the double jump amulet, there is a lot of utility to be had. We still haven't got to the triple jump amulet quite yet. That's a pretty pricey endeavor there. I think you need like an Omega Pog, so... as you can, there's the Gaia Manor spreader there that we actually crafted up from some of those spirits we got, and compared to the regular one, I mean, it is night and day difference, even between that and the Dreamwood one. So much so that we decided to go back and farm him out a couple more times here. Definitely brought a chest plate, brought some food, and brought some vault totems this time. Although we did not bring wither immunity vault totems. That probably would have been the play there. Anyway, though, we came back and we definitely killed him a couple times. More to stock up on some of those Gaia crystals. This would be a great time to point out, too, that I do stream on Twitch and on YouTube somewhat regularly, about once or twice a week usually. We do vault runs live so that I can... Basically, we're trying to get through this Vault Hunters pack before the next one comes out, so we want to just try to expedite the process, so to speak. We're like really grinding away running vaults, and it's a lot of fun to run those live and talk with you guys while we're running them, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. This is us rolling a couple more of these grab bags here. So the shaders you get from these things are actually pretty cool. Some of the ones you get are really interesting looking, like something you could not get in vanilla, like that for instance. That's a pretty nice one. You could use that to do some really interesting decor. And now we're moving back on over here to better utilize our Gaia spreaders. We need to get a better mana setup kind of going here. Pro tip, if you ever want to move your mana pools, definitely drain your mana from the pools before you move them, because they're not going to retain their mana when you break them. They're just the mana's going to just disappear. So make sure you drain them. Definitely worth doing that. This is me just kind of, struggling with the tablets here. They really did not want to just stay in the pools. And stocking up on all those, of course, I'd recommend using like 4 or 5 of those tablets just to fast track it when you do want to move these things or move some mana around easily. Breaking this floor out. This whole area right here was just kind of temporary while I was getting the hang of the mod pack, and now that I've kind of got an idea for how things work, I figure I might as well tidy the area up a little bit and start expanding some of the space so that I can make a few more mana spreaders and stuff without like clogging up that floor right there. And we're going to be reducing the amount of coal flowers we're using and trying to use more TNT flowers and XP flowers. So one interesting thing there, as I blow my base up with TNT, is that for those of you that do not know, on Botania, if you want to use a TNT duper to power your Entropiniums or the TNT consuming flowers, it's not going to work. You definitely need to use just regular TNT. They have like a mechanism in place that keeps you from using a duper. And we're crafting up an Omega Pog for one of the most important early game RF things that you can get here, which is the crafting grid. The crafting grid is fantastic. I really cannot overstate how well of a use that is for the, or how good of a use that is for the Omega Pog, or Echo Pog, excuse me. It seems kind of expensive, but it is so worth it in the long run. And now we're moving right along. We're going to come over here and start working on this Cobblestone Generator. This is actually a design by ilmango. It basically is just a TNT duper stuck on top of 4 vertical cobblestone generators that are basically those stone brick stairs you see there and the lava on the sides. They make like little columns of cobblestone, and then the TNT duper will you know, just do its thing and dupe a TNT every now and then that drops in and blows up. I think he said this design puts out about 12,000 cobblestone an hour. So, you know, hour or two AFKing over here, you'll have enough cobblestone to do pretty much whatever you need. Or we could just leave it running because it's in the base area, so. I did have a little bit of trouble figuring out the TNT duper side of this. Coming from Bedrock Edition, I've really never messed with TNT dupers until literally like right now. So it was pretty interesting to learn. I had to figure out how to like load it right so that like it's ready like it is now to where when you do activate it, it'll like pick up and then it gets where it needs to go. I believe ilmango does not have a tutorial video for this build either, so I was making this off of Light Matica, which is why I was having trouble. Like, the Light Matica I had it already in its, like, kind of configured state. Whatever, it doesn't matter. What matters now is that it is working, and I will leave a link down in the description to the original video ilmango did on this farm, for sure, if you want the world download or build it yourself, because it is super simple, it's vanilla friendly, and I don't know, makes a ton of cobblestone for somewhat minimal effort. It's a little bit to get going, but nothing too terrible. Moving right along, now that the machine is built, I decided it was time to roll into designing some of the room that's around here. So I wanted this area to kind of tie in with the rest of everything we got going on downstairs and kind of have one cohesive look going on for everything. So I wanted the outside to, of course, kind of look natural and cliff-like and not so much like a building. This is my attempt at that. I'm not sure if I really pulled that off or not. I think it looks pretty good, though. And we're going to bring in some of these ebony logs as well that we have downstairs to kind of tie everything together with that. And we'll probably end up using some deep slate and some marble, maybe some spruce wood, stuff like that to really tie everything together here. Moving right along, though, we've got some hardened stone coming out as well. And we're going to toss that right up in here and kind of continue stripping this wood. I'm a real big fan of the ebony wood. I really wish Minecraft would just give us like a black wood and a white wood to work with, like vanilla, possibly a green one as well. That would pretty much complete the like color wheel of woods, if you will, and it would just go a long way towards like creativity, I think. But this is me just trying to like make it look like the cliff sides kind of like fallen in over time a little bit out there and adding a door. What good room is a room without a door? The fence gate is actually just because we play on hard difficulty and mobs just love to tear down doors in hard difficulty. Zombies will come from apparently nowhere and just destroy any door they can set their eyes on, so fence gates for the win on that one for sure. Definitely worth putting those down and using those. I mean, I guess you could use netherite doors too, which I might end up changing it to eventually. Coming down here, I am absolutely in love with the look of deep slate. I'm sorry if you guys are tired of seeing this as my floors, but man, the look of deep slate bricks with the like top texture of silk touched like regular deep slate, not the cobbled kind, just looks like such a great flooring material to me. And again, I'm trying to keep everything in this area somewhat cohesive so that like the intro base and like all of the little areas connected to that kind of have the same vibe going on. And then like my Botania tower is different in every other kind of tower or build or you know, structure outside of the main area here that's not all hooked up to this maze, if you will, of underground networks will end up looking and standing out. Looking a bit different, I should say. So coming up here, we're adding a few more of these ebony logs here to kind of step this out just a little bit. And as I'm working on this, I'm noticing that I don't really like the kind of transparent look that the glass brings to the table for the farm. Like from the front view, being able to see through the sides of that glass does not really look great. So I decided to come over here with some hardened stone, and you'll get to see a really good before and after of what it looks like before you put the stuff on the backside there. It definitely helps seal it in and make it look more like an actual machine or something like that if you just add some hardened stone on the backsides there. So I went around and did that. And given a little character here, add in a couple stairs up at the front just so that we can, I don't know, set it back a little bit. I probably spend more time than your average Vault Hunter player just working on builds and aesthetics, but this is just the way that I play Minecraft. I really like getting in there and doing some details and making the areas feel nice and well thought out. Um, I also, you'll notice I tend to build in a lot of neutral colors, so like grays and whites and blacks and browns and stuff like that. And one reason I prefer to build that way is because when you do choose to bring some color to the build, so for instance, this room, the color that's really going to be popping through here is going to be that lava. Like that lava and that blue from the water will really draw your eye to that, while the other tones are more complementary and like kind of sit in the background well, if you catch my drift. So that's my favorite like way to build in Minecraft is to basically use your build as more of a muted kind of thing where like you can easily draw attention to where you want by adding colorful bits here, colorful bits there. Like pops of color have more power if there's not color everywhere else, if that makes sense. Um, so going around here, I actually ran out of ebony wood and had to go farm some of that, chop down a forest. I will say that ebony wood is really nice in the sense that it like grows giant trees, so you can gather multiple stacks of ebony wood rather quickly for sure via just, maybe like 6 or 7 trees in a pick a ring. I actually struggled quite a bit with what block I wanted to put onto the top here, but I ended up going with the old faithful vertical spruce slabs. I feel like they look pretty good. They add a little contrast to the roof to kind of break that up so it's not more gray, white, or black up there. Just a little bit of like kind of brown tones coming through. I also just love this, like the vertical slabs, or the vertical planks, I should say. They look fantastic. I really wish that Minecraft had those too. There's some really simple like things that Minecraft could do to really bolster its vanilla build game, in my opinion. Alabaster is another good example of that. The concrete that you can make stairs and slabs out of. It's a super, super versatile building block that I did not really realize I needed in vanilla that as badly as I did. So here I'm actually just kind of like pointing out and showing that I'm using the RF Tools utility for the wireless redstone to turn this machine on and off, like without having to run a nice redstone signal through the back of the wall there. RF like Tools utility is really great for that. I'm pretty sure there's other wireless kinds of like mods, but that's just the one that I went with because it seemed the most simple. And of course fill out the nice splatter style gradient, or not really gradient, but this white wall with some of these white bricks that I've enjoyed using this series so far. I really like all the different whites that this brings to the table. It's nice making the little side walls out of it. I think the patterned approach looks really great. And the room turned out pretty great too. We're just missing a couple little benches here and perhaps a little bit of greenery as well. The farm itself is pretty efficient and the room itself looks pretty nice. And this is just me demonstrating exactly how you use it. You just take a seat, flip the switch, and go take a break and eat lunch or something, and let it make you 12,000 cobblestone in an hour. Good to go. Moving on here, I see and notice that we have 16 crystals charged, and I think to myself, I believe it's time to get geared up for some vaults. I'm looking at my old gear, stashing my old luck chest plate because I don't want that to break. Trying to figure out what's going on here. Repair this armor piece. I got that. What else we got? Gonna have to re-enchant some new boots and some new helmets and stuff. My armor's looking alright. I'm just kind of showing the process here of like every single time I have to make armor. This is essentially what Vault Hunters is. Bunch of XP bottles, come over, re-enchant your stuff, and then put your plating in it as well. Also got a quick tip right here. We've got some signs kind of dictating where the diorite, granite, and andesite spawn because of quark. That helps a lot because I constantly forget where to go for those blocks. So got our armor looking pretty good. Not a huge fan of the lion head, so I'm going to actually show you guys how the transmog table works here. So you take the item that you want to transmog, you take the item you want it to look like, for in my case this halo helmet, and then you take a little bit of vault bronze. You put the item you want to change first, what you want it to look like second, put your bronze in, and there you go. Now you're looking good. You got your nice enchanted armor looking the way you want it. So make sure you save those cool vault pieces like Chad's flamingo there, or if you get the cowboy hat or something silly, hold on to it and you can make any of your stuff look like it you want in the future. Really like that mechanic here. Take a slight detour before we hop into a vault to charge the old Terra Shatterer up. It's going to take 50 years. And hop on in. Woo, got a Pog Room right off the gate here. So that's going to be great. Gonna hop across here. Really love seeing a Pog Room like right off the gate. But I should have known it was a trap. I got almost killed immediately by one of the player mobs, and from that point forward, I should have known that what we were getting into was something a little bit different. Gonna just clear up this area. Another side tip for Vault Hunters you can have there if you want is to carry around the puzzle blocks for you from all these different, like, Pog Rooms is what I call them. The puzzle blocks you can actually carry with you and take with you if you don't put them down. So if you just carry around a bunch, you can fast track some of these. And 25 gilded chests or vault chests. I love to see it. Look at all that gear just pouring in. Fantastic. And dead. And we're gonna pause that for a second and rewind it just a little bit here. Alright, so right here, where I'm destroying the crates, everything's looking fine, and I'm actually going to slow this down to like 25% speed here or something, to where you can see just how quick the Vindicator kills me. He swipes me once, pops my totem, hits me again, and kills me immediately. And just like that, he brought this episode of Vault Hunters to an end. I really appreciate you guys joining, checking out the progress, hanging out. Love to see ya. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all those fun things. I've been Simply Zach. This has been Vault Hunters, and I will catch you guys in next week's episode. Bye-bye. I'll see you then.